All right, today we're going to make a monotub. So a monotub, the basic idea, its basic function is that it's a small, like a micro ecosystem for the mushrooms, so for your mycelium. So what you're trying to create is an environment where they've got enough oxygen, they've got enough room to breathe out their CO2, they've got enough room for moisture, for humidity from the moisture of the bulk substrate. So you want to basically create this small little eco environment, this microclimate for them, and that's what the monotub does. Is this is kind of supposed to be? It's designed to be a set it and forget it. The only thing that kind of goes wrong sometimes for people is the fresh air exchange, and if you mess up the fresh air exchange or you don't get enough of it, what you typically notice is your mushrooms can be anywhere from they're really scrawny and they're starving for air. Or they'll just get some fuzzy feet. They'll still kind of grow just fine. They'll just get some fuzzy feet. And the way you kind of beat that is if your holes aren't right, or if for whatever reason there's just not enough fresh air going through. Maybe you have too much cotton or too much polyfill in your holes. You can do a couple of things. Number one is you can take the lid off and just fan it down, or you can just remove the cotton out of those holes and let a little bit more air in there. You're a little bit concerned about contamination, but at the point where this is going on, where the mycelium it's fully colonized through its grain spawn and it's going to bulk substrate, at that point you're not too worried about about contaminants getting to it, at least not the microorganisms, because the mycelium's got a good immune system on its own. So let's jump into the monotub. What we're going to be doing with the monotub is we're going to be putting 6 holes in here. We're going to put 2 on the long sides, 2 on, and then 1 on each of the ends. So the placement of the holes is roughly 2/3 of the way up, whatever size your monotub is. I've tried testing them where I put 1 hole down low and 1 up high. I've put them where I do on the edges, up high and down low. I've never seen any difference, so I just put them all at the same height now. And it's 6 holes, 2 on your long sides and then 1 on each of the ends. Again, about 2/3 of the way up. So I'll go through the process and show you guys what it looks like. All right, so now to make the tub, we're gonna need a few tools. Number one, something real easy, get yourself a drill gun or a drill or something like that that's got a hole saw on it. You're looking for, this is an 1¼ inch hole saw drill that I have on there. You want a tape measure for measuring out where your holes go. You need a pen to mark the holes, and then I use a razor knife to clean the holes up when I'm done. So I'll go over all that. This particular tub, I don't really need to measure it. It's got, if you can see that, it's got these lines across there. So what I do is I just use those lines. So I'll go center right there. And it's got an extra line across the top on there. I moved down 1, so I'm on the 2nd line on the sides on mine. And these holes are approximate. They don't have to be exact, but I'm just trying to center it up. When you drill your holes, it's real easy to crack the plastic, so don't push real hard. Just kind of get some speed. There should be a tip on your drill. Just kind of get some speed going. And when you're pushing into it, maybe put your hand behind it. Just make sure you don't hit your fingers with the drill when it's coming through. Make sure you can kind of see through the plastic there, and just make sure that you put your fingers in a spot on both sides so you don't get your fingers. Otherwise, just pull them back and don't press really hard, and it'll be fine. It'll still get through there. It goes a little faster when you can put some pressure on the back side. Now I'm going to take my knife and I'm just going to go on the inside and the outside, and I'm going to clean up these edges right here. The reason I do that is because when I'm cleaning this with my paper towels, when I'm cleaning, a lot of times when I'm cleaning the inside, this catches right here, it rips my paper towel. It also kind of helps, to close up any holes that are right here. I'm not super worried about contamination getting through there, because I'm going to throw some polyfill or some microsport tape over the holes. But that's why I clean these up. So personal preference. If you don't want to clean them up, you don't have to. And that's what a monotub looks like. That'll be a lid you put on there. When I use my lids, I'll just mark whatever strain that I'm growing and the date that I started, so I can kind of keep an eye on when things are at. Sometimes every now and again you get something that looks like it's colonizing really fast on grain, and then when it grows for some reason it's really slow. It's nice to keep track of that stuff, so you don't want to clone those strains when they're not doing really well, when they don't produce fruit very well. So anyways, that's what the monotub looks like. The last thing you want to do, and you don't need to do this now, is you can put spore tape on it, microspore tape, which looks like that, and it's just a breathable type of tape that'll stick to it. Or you can just put polyfill in there, whatever's cheaper, whatever's easier. When I use the microspore tape, I won't take it off in between grows, whatever sticks to the inside of it. I haven't had any problems with it falling off and getting into my grow. So if you decide to go this route, it's actually kind of, I've used it for, I think I've had them stay on boxes for like 6-7 grows and not have any issues with them. So it's perfectly fine to use this, and it's actually kind of cost effective at the end of the day, but this microspore tape is pretty expensive. So anyways, that's how it's done. That's what it looks like. Happy growing. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how to make the liner for a monotub. There's a couple different things you could do. Number one is you can just cut a liner, lay it down flat, and then before you put your dirt into there, you just maybe take some alcohol and spray the sides so the liner will stick against the sides. Some people don't like messing with that. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt. That's kind of the way that I prefer to do it. But there's another method you could use if you prefer to do it, and you can make a liner that's actually pre-folded and has sides on it. And I'm going to show you what that process is like. So what you want to do is whatever monotub you're going to be using, take the top of that tub, and then you're going to measure it length and width, and add 4 inches to both the length and the width. So this tub, I've got 17 by 22. So I'm going to cut plastic that is 26, adding 4 inches, by 21. So this is going to be 26 right here. And I'm just going to try to eyeball how straight it is. There's a line right here that I can kind of follow. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're just going to use these and make folds. And now I want to go by 21 inches is the other direction. Just like that. You can see it's a little bit off, but it's no big deal. We're going to be making some folds in here, and it's all going to fit in there no problem. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to make 2-inch folds across the whole, or all 4 sides of the bag. I'm not going to measure it exactly, just kind of eyeball it, get it close. And then you want to put creases of the bag so you can see where your folds were at, because we're going to unfold this when we're done. You're going to want to be able to see where those folds were at. Just like that. Now we're going to come back and unfold it. Now take your corner, you want to have some tape handy, take your corner, fold it in to where that center mark is at, then bring both of the edges together, like this, pull it in, and then you want to pull this little flap, pull it to the edge, and tape it, and that's going to make your corners up. That seals that off from the inside, so dirt can't escape and get up against the side of the box. And anywhere where there's dirt, the mycelium gets to it, it'll grow. So you want to try to keep everything contained as much as you can, no matter what kind of liner you're going to use. And then we're going to do the same thing on all 4 sides, and that'll make up our base. Okay, and there's the liner for the bottom, and there's our tub. So let's check it out, see how it fits. Yeah, that's good. Dirt will grab it nice and tight. It'll push everything back out there. It'll hug the walls perfectly. It'll keep it nice and contained. That's what you're looking for. So that's one way to do it. It's not my favorite, I'll be honest. There's lots of little nooks and crannies that, we pre-made this, so there's contaminants that can get in there. You got to be really thorough about making sure you clean all the corners in here. So it's not really my favorite method. That's kind of the give and the take of using this method versus just having the 4 sides and pushing them up against the walls right before you pour your bulk substrate in. So anyways, hopefully you guys find that useful and get something out of it.